If anyone were to put together a best of TV show list from the 90s, Boy Meets World would be placed somewhere on that list. It was just that good of a show. So putting together a top 10 list was no easy task. There are so many good episodes, it's almost impossible to compile. But I was able to do it. Now keep in mind, this is a list of my favorite episodes, not the best. These are just episodes that I enjoyed and left an impression on me the most. So here it is, my top 10 favorite Boy Meets World episodes. Number 10, A Long Walk to Pittsburgh. You know you got a good list when this episode barely makes it. This was a two-parter where Topanga has to move away from Philadelphia, potentially ending Cory and Topanga's relationship. The emotion we see in this episode really convinced me that their relationship was in danger. Cory is trying to do everything he can to convince himself that she's not leaving. We, the audience, are just like, how can this happen? They're such a good couple. We don't want to see them get breaking up. But this episode kind of almost made it look like it, and it was in danger. But towards the end, we see Topanga at the door, all wet, when she ran away from home. You can tell the audience that was there started cheering because we knew they would be back together. And in the end, she ends up staying in Philadelphia, so the relationship became safe. Number 9, You Can Go Home Now. This starts off the fourth season of Cory and Eric ending their road trip. They stop in a town and Eric meets a girl and he starts liking being in the town. He tells Cory there is no reason for him to go back. He didn't get into college, his friends are gone, and he has no job. Meanwhile, Alan gets an award for being a store manager for 20 years, so he starts to rethink his life. So when Eric tells Alan he wants to settle in that town, Alan says that's all he will be doing, just settling like he did at the market. This is an episode that always stuck with me because it taught me not to stay in a place where it's easy and comfortable. That you should always strive for more in life and give it meaning instead of having it easy. Number 8, Family Trees. Sean receives a letter from his mom saying she's not his real mom. In an earlier episode, his dad died, so he comes to a realization that he has no parents. He tries to find his real mom, but she doesn't want to be found by him. This is something I have no idea how he feels. We can see how devastated he is, but we really don't know. Knowing that you have no parents in life just must be the worst feeling. All we know is that he is going through an indescribable pain that not many of us will know exactly how he feels. It even gets to the point where he starts to drink. That's something characters in this show barely ever do. Number 7, the psychotic episode. Now this is just a weird episode. Cory has dreams of killing Sean, and he doesn't know why it's happening. He later finishes the dream, and not only kills Sean, he kills all his friends too. Even Lauren. She says that she represents all the girls he will never meet and all the places he will never see, all because he is marrying Topanga. This shows how big a deal marriage is. Your life will change and you'll devote your time to your wife. Even at the end, Cory says, I don't want it to change, but we all know it has to happen. Change is just part of life. Getting married is a big deal. Number 6, Things Change. This episode takes place before graduation. Sean gets on the wait list for college, but Cory wants all of them to go to college together. But Sean is thinking about not going and staying at his job. He starts to get worried, but Eric explains that change is a part of life that we must deal with. We have to learn to accept it and move on. It's how we grow in life and not to be stuck in the past. We must adapt to change when it comes and not be afraid of it. Well, he didn't say all that, but that's what I got out of it. Number 5, Torn Between Two Lovers. In a previous episode, the class takes a field trip. Cory breaks his knee, spends his trip in the lodge, meets Lauren. They talk, then kiss. We find out Lauren really likes Cory a lot. Fast forward to this episode, we see Cory and Topanga broken up over that. Sean's trying to get them back together at this point, so when he finally convinces Cory and Topanga to meet, Lauren arrives and everything is ruined. She says for Cory to go on a date with Lauren, which he does. This is so Cory can test his love for Topanga, which he finds out he loves her, so he goes and tells her, but she just does a complete reversal and doesn't want to be with him anymore. The long walk to Pittsburgh was one thing, but here she actually breaks up with him. And by Cory's reaction, we feel this is it. The relationship is over. How will they get back together? It was just so heartbreaking. We had no idea or how if they would get back together. Number 4. Sister Theresa. This is just a very funny episode. Cory starts acting polite and gets the attention of Theresa. She gets the same classes as him. She sends him flowers and steaks. She is just all over him. What's even funnier is Cory barely knows how to talk to girls, so when a girl does all this stuff to him, he really doesn't know what to do. This is where I find the humor extremely funny. Number 3. Better than the average Cory. Cory meets a 12-year-old girl who is already an established artist. He starts to realize if he has any talents and why he was raised to be an average person. This is something I can relate to. There was a point where I too wondered what I was good at in life. Just like Cory, he feels like he was never pushed by his family to find out what he's good at. I too also felt that way. Cory starts to blame his dad for raising him average because he is average. Now I never did anything like that, but I understand why he would do that. But in the end, we learn that people find out what they are meant for in life at different ages and different times. Whether it's young or old, everybody finds out what their life means at some point. It's just a matter of when. Number 2. You light up my union. No, this is not number 2 because we see Rachel almost naked. Jack and Eric become managers of the student union. Jack tells Eric to deposit the money at the bank. Eric meets an old guy with a monkey and says he needs the money to get a monkey girl. So Eric lets him have the money. When he tells Jack, he gets angry and tells him, "You can't be acting the way you are." So Eric starts acting serious from then on. Then the old man comes back and gives the money Eric gave him. Mr. Feeney explains that it's not enough to want to succeed in this world, but you must also have a desire to change it. So by having Eric's good heart and Jack's good work ethic, they can be ready for the cold, cruel world. I agree with this 100%. The world is a scary place. It's easy to fall into it and become part of that cruel, cold world. Eric represents what we need more in this world. If we had that good heart, the world would be a happier place. And my number 1 favorite episode of Boy Meets World is On the Fence. That's right, we're going way back to Season 1, Episode 2. Cory wants a water gun. Parents don't want to buy it. Cory wants a job at the market. Dad says, "You're a kid, enjoy it because once it's gone, you will never get it back." This right here is absolutely true. The feeling and experience of being a kid is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't worry about bills, jobs, relationships, and everything is done by your parents, meaning they take care of you. All a kid has to worry about is school, friends, and fun. You can get in trouble and get away with it because you're just a kid. You don't know any better. A child is still learning and growing. That feeling is gone when you become an adult. Being grown up is stressful, complicated, and too many rules and laws to follow. That is why so many people like to think about the past, a time where everything was optimistic instead of everything being pessimistic. This episode also set the tone for Boy Meets World, starting out as a kid and ending with being an adult on the final episode, moving to New York where they start their life as a full-grown adult, which is why Boy Meets World is one of my favorite shows of all time.